Hi, Eden here, and in this part of the course, we're going to be implementing our own version of OpenAI's Code Interpreter. Now, Code Interpreter is actually an agent that is being built on top of GPT-4 that is able to write code and to execute it and to output us the result of the code executions. So in this course, we're going to be implementing our own slim version of the code interpreter. And by doing that, we'll have an idea of how this feature is actually implemented. We'll also learn about the limitations of using agents in production, and we'll also be using OpenAI function calling of this new feature. So let's check out first what's code interpreter. So let's open now ChatGPT, and I'm going to select GPT-4 and enable code interpreter. We'll test it with this following prompt. Generate and save in the current working directory 5 QR codes that points to the Udemy LangChain course. So we can see right now that ChatGPT actually generates two tasks. One, to generate the QR codes, and two, to save them into the current working directory. Now it's also executing it. Now if we'll check out the show work over here, then we can see the actual code that ran. So this is simply Python code that generates the QR code. ChatGPT agent then run this code in an isolated environment. And this is actually very similar to the first part of the course where the agent is choosing a tool and then using this tool. This time the tool is a Python interpreter and the input for this tool is this Python code. You can see now the artifacts of this run is those QR codes. Now, if you open one of those QR codes, trying to scan it with your phone, you'll see it will redirect you to this course. So this is pretty cool and it is actually working very nicely in this example. Now let's see what Code Interpreter of OpenAI can do with a CSV file. In this example, I simply downloaded from the internet a CSV file called episode info, which contains a lot of information about Seinfeld, the television show. We can see all the Seinfeld episodes and their information like who wrote them, when they were aired, and what season do they belong to. Let's go back to Code Interpreter. Let's now drag this CSV file over here and let's ask in the prompt, who wrote the most episodes? So the ChatGPT agent will actually open this file, examine a bit the data inside this file, and then decide what steps it should take in order to fulfill our request. And our request is to find out which writer wrote the most episodes in Seinfeld. Now you can see the algorithm description right now, and we can also see a disclaimer of the agent that is telling us that the way it's going to count the writer is simply as one string in the column of writers. So if we have a column with multiple writers in it, it will be considered as one string. But let's just continue from here and see what it outputs us. Now we can see that the final answer is that the writer that wrote the most episodes was Larry David with 29 episodes. Now if we'll test it, open the CSV and look for Larry David, we can see we have 58 episodes found. The reason for this difference is because ChatGPT agent didn't break down the column of writers when there were multiple writers in the same episode. But I don't want us to focus on that. I want us to focus on what the ChatGPT agent did underneath the hood and what steps did it take in order to get us this result. So let's open the logs, the first log of show work, and let's see what we have here. So we can see that ChatGPT actually wrote some Python code that is using the pandas library to load the CSV file and to run the command .head in order to get some information from the CSV. It then ran this command and the output, we can see the result over here. So then it continued when it had some information about what the CSV is containing. It then created the algorithm that it's going to run, and then it actually ran this algorithm. Now, if we'll click show work, we can actually see what the ChatGPT agent ran. So it used some pandas command to simply count how many episodes did each writer write. So we can see that at the top result, we have Larry David by itself, which has 29 episodes. And then it took this output and generated the response. Let's now write another prompt to the ChatGPT agent, this time to print the seasons sorted by the number of episodes that each season is containing. if we click the show work, we can see what are the pandas command that it's running. We can see even now the result. And at the bottom, we have the final answer of all the seasons, which are sorted by the number of episodes that they have in ascending order. Cool. So in the following videos, we're going to be implementing a slim version of the code interpreter backend, and we'll see how to make very similar behavior work.